The House comes to questions for oral answer. Question number 1, in the name of Todd Muller.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question's to the Minister of Finance and asks, what recent announcements has the government made regarding its social housing reform program?
Mr Speaker.
Order.
Mr Speaker.
Order. The Honourable Bill English.
On Friday, the government announced that the IHC subsidiary Accessible Properties is the preferred bidder for the potential transfer of 1,124 social houses in Tauranga. Accessible is the largest NGO provider of social housing in New Zealand. This is good news for tenants and for Tauranga. The tenants will ultimately benefit from a new approach to social housing. We were encouraging community organisations with different and more innovative views and support for tenants, and also good for Tauranga because, like most other provincial cities in New Zealand, it has significant tracts of state houses of the traditional mode that need redeveloped. The government believes there is a role for further expansion of the community housing sector in delivering social housing.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Todd Muller.
Thank you. To the Minister, what other programs has the government announced that are contributing to its objective of creating more diverse ownership of social housing?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, where there's strong demand, the government is also trying to create, is going to be producing more social housing, not just more diverse ownership. Last week we welcomed news that the Tamaki Regeneration Company has started the procurement of the Tamaki Redevelopment Program, where we will see 1,000 existing social houses transformed into 2,500 new mixed tenure houses over the next few years. By the time the Tamaki program is completed, the current 2,800 social houses will become around 7,500 homes of all types of tenure, adding new housing to the Auckland market on a scale government has never done before.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Todd Muller.
Supplementary to the Minister. Does the government stand by its commitment to achieve fair and reasonable value for taxpayers in social housing transactions?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes, but we need to understand the effects of government policy on the value of these houses. The houses in Tauranga, for instance, have been offered with encumbrances on the title, specifically that they must remain as social houses until government agrees otherwise. Purchasers are required to meet various obligations and minimum standards, as you would expect, and only community housing providers can participate in transactions. The current valuation on these properties does not reflect these encumbrances or obligations. The properties are valued as if a developer was selling an individual property for the best price on the day for maximum capital gain. These houses are required to remain as social houses, so their value will be considerably less than the commercial value.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Todd Muller.
To the Minister, what support has he seen for the social housing reform program, in particular the goal of growing the community housing sector?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, widespread support. Pretty much anyone who's involved with social housing is supporting the direction of these changes. I have read a particular speech which says our vision is to have Housing New Zealand and a bigger, stronger community housing sector working in partnership. We're committed to giving your members access to income-related rent subsidies. We want to grow the whole social housing sector. That means a priority for growing community providers, and that was Phil Twyford. Blue Phil. Come on, Phil.
Order. 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 Before I call the member, I require substantially less interjection from one member in particular if he wants to remain for question 4.
Just allow question 4.
Phil Twyford, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. How incompetent does a government have to be to have sold off 298 state houses at an average of $32,000 below council valuation at a time when house price inflation is running at 26% nationwide?
Well done, Bill.
The order. The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the government's very proud of the fact that we've sold hundreds of houses to state house tenants. We've seen people in their 50s and 60s enjoy for the first time in their life the benefit of home ownership. And, Mr Speaker, the member may be the only person in New Zealand who's surprised to find out that some of our rubbishy, hopeless, old, wrong-sized state houses are worth almost nothing.
Order. Question order. Order. Question number 2, Andrew Little.